Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
So it is that time of the week. It is time for us to have our 1 minute book recs. This is where we go over all the books we read this past week with 1 minute synopsises for each book. But before we get started with that, let's talk about the fact that we look a little different where we're at today. So Mandy did not have to develop her own harem to get her books built or bookshelves built.
I did not.
Yeah. Which they're starting to really come along. I mean, it looks so pretty behind you.
Yeah, so they're not done.
No.
It is a work in progress still. So hopefully next time we record, they will be done. So next 1 minute book recs, they should be done. Yeah. I'm in the process of moving all my books, and then I have to move some stuff to finish putting up the shelves. So it's kind of a mess right now.
Yeah. And then obviously I'm not in my normal spot. I am at home. I'm not traveling, but I had surgery on Friday. And so we're recording this from bed. Everything's fine. It was just one of those mommy surgeries that needed to be taken care of years ago. And I finally, just say I'm sitting on ice packs, people. I'm sitting on ice packs. So I'm not happy. Don't feel very good, but we're going to do this. Like, I didn't even put on makeup for this. We are dedicated to getting your 1 minute book recs out there. So let's do this.
Okay. So hit that subscribe button, please. Please don't leave me because we're a mess. And right now we are doing a couple of giveaways. So right now we have a giveaway to for you guys to convince us to read something. So we did that about a year ago and it was really popular. And we'd had requests to do that again. So we are doing that again. You can fill that form out and then it will also get you entered in to win a $10 Amazon gift card.
Yeah.
And we also are working on our road to 3K where we will give away our coveted cover. And I think I held my hands up in the wrong position last time.
Yeah, I think the other way is
I
the way
don't know. Somewhere there is a coveted cover. Graphic. The coveted cover. I don't need to hold my hands up maybe. And so we are giving away the first book box, which you can't get anymore, the Catherine Welcher books. So check those out. And you can also still get a subscription, 10% off your first box if you use our code, which is down below. Okay, let's get started.
Let's get started. So how many books did you get in this week?
12. I read a lot, like 4 or 5 novellas this week. So I'm in my novella era and my audiobook era. Oh my gosh. Era.
Okay, I read 5 because I pretty much slept for the last 3 days. So apparently this is the Mandy show.
Hey, that's mean.
That's okay because we always have the Jessica show. So we used to in the
past.
In
a really long time.
No. But you know what? Camping season is coming, so I'll make up for it then. So yeah,
yes, you will.
Yeah. So let's start out. You can start us out, and then once I get done, I'll take a nap while you finish us out. You just have to wake me up at the end.
Way to be supportive. Hey,
it's before
we start, we really need to address the most epic love story that is unfolding right now. Apparently it's been going on for years. I had no idea. I just recently got invested and then had my heart broken this weekend. So, and I am talking about Jackie and Shadow. Oh my gosh, I'm so invested in their lives.
The birds?
Yes, the eagles. Oh, they've been together for a very long time. They're so cute together. And then, it's just, I love watching them. And then one of their babies died during this storm. Oh, I was heartbroken. Heartbroken. It was funny, though. There's this one clip where Shadow is bringing more sticks in. And it's like a big stick. And he, clobbers Jackie and actually pins her to the nest for a little bit. There's actually you could hear her saying stuff, and I could just imagine what that conversation was like.
I saw a reel about all the times that he brings a stick in and whacks her with it or whatever.
Yes,
funny.
His rough landings.
I've seen clips here and there, but I am not invested because they're birds, and that's just not my thing. But good for you. That's wonderful. So proud of you.
It is a true love story unfolding right there in nature.
Totally.
It's very sweet.
It is.
I'm heartbroken for them that one of their babies didn't make it through the snowstorm.
Yeah. It's kind of nature and how it works, though.
Well, so for the past 2 years, they've not had successful hatchings.
I know. I saw that.
That was sad.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I'm
Okay,
very
so-
invested in this eagle couple. All right.
And I'm sure they'll have an HEA. So let's talk about your first book that probably does
Well, I
have an
think
HEA.
they're living their HEA.
They're living their HEA. Yes, they are.
Okay.
Okay.
I gotta find where I'm at in my book.
12 back. The one
Okay.
week where I'm like, we got to get this done fast. She's like, I read 12.
I'm sorry.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you still able to switch from your position?
Yeah. I
Okay,
do have to say, one thing we get told by a lot of you guys is you love that we're our authentic selves. And this week, you are getting the authentic selves for sure.
I think we're always authentic.
We are. But this is how you guys are seeing.
This
like,
is more
real
authentic
life.
than the people needed.
This is a little bit more than what they needed, but this is what they're getting. So, okay, what's your first book?
Okay, my first book is one that's been on my TBR for a while, so I was proud of myself for getting to this.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Playbook by Rebecca Ginchak.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is part of the Holland Brothers series, but this is Brogan's story. So Brogan is not technically a Holland brother, but he has basically lived with them the majority of his life, which actually plays a little bit into the story as well. So Brogan him and Archer recently moved. They're on the football team. And Brogan's getting very famous because they're no longer in college. They're playing professionally. And Brogan had a P.O. box, which he forgets to forward. He just canceled it, but he forgot that he should probably forward that mail. So London has his old P.O. box, and she keeps getting stuff in the mail, like love letters, perfume-soaked love letters. One time she accidentally opened something that came, not realizing it wasn't hers, and it was underwear. So she is a little disgusted with Brogan. She doesn't know who he is. And she kind of like freaks out about him. Oh, and there's my timer already.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So she kind of freaks out about getting all of this stuff. And she confronts him when she finally meets him and kind of chews him out about his kinky mail play and his harem of pen pals.
Lovely.
It was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, they start writing to each other because Brogan feels bad. So he writes her a letter and asks her out, and she declines. And so then he sends her NFL tickets. She goes and writes him back, thanking him. And they do this back and forth. And before you know it, they are in a fake dating relationship. But Brogan is really interested in her. And I just loved it so much. It was 5 stars. Loved it. I can't wait to read Archer's book. But I will say there were some people that were beating this up because Brogan has been a playboy. Like if you've read the other books, you know this about him. Him and Archer like to party. They go out. They're newly inducted into this whole football fame situation. And so he is used to getting all this attention. Or maybe he's not used to it, but he's used to it in the current moment, if that makes sense. And so people were beating him up because he does something kind of questionable at a bar when he's waiting for her to show up. But I loved it because I don't necessarily enjoy the books where we just hear that the guy was the playboy and now all of a sudden he's reformed. Like you still see him and he is realizing, oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't be acting like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my bad. I really shouldn't have done body shots off of that girl while I was waiting for another girl. But he doesn't think about it like he's being naughty. Like it's just what's happening in his world.
It's kind of like when people beat up a book because a hero meets the heroine, but they're not together yet. They just have met, and then he ends up sleeping with somebody else or having a fling with somebody before he gets to the heroine, and people are all up in arms because he sleeps with somebody else. That's real life. You could meet a guy on the street one day and have a connection with him, but unless you're together, he can do whatever the heck he wants. So it kind of drives me nuts when people get all upset about that because they're not together. What does it matter? So, Same thing.
I have my window open and it just stopped raining and now it's super quiet in here. So I feel like that might have been loud. So I'm sorry.
I didn't hear the rain at all.
Oh, good. Okay. So I loved it. I don't know. I mean, I guess you can beat a book up because it's your prerogative, but I just thought that was like, I love that part of his story that
Mhm.
he has to go through that. And I loved seeing that.
Yeah,
I still
exactly.
thought the book was great. So I don't know. To
All right.
each their own.
Okay.
Okay.
So my first book was an arc by LV Lane. This is Fawn. I wanted to get it done last week and I just didn't. There was a lot going on last week. So I did at the beginning of this week. So this is her newest book in her Coveted Prey series. This is driving me nuts because my husband's doing laundry, so there's no pillowcase on that pillow. It's driving me nuts. Anyhow, because you can see that. So anyhow, this is about Fawn. She is an Omega, but she's hiding the fact that she is an Omega. This has shifters. This has all this crazy stuff in it. She has a crush on this one guy who is a wolf shifter. He is older than her, and he completely rejects her because he thinks that she is a beta because she is hiding it. So she is hiding her crush on him, and she is hiding the fact that she's secretly an Omega. Then this he's not a deer shifter, but he's a stag shifter, comes to town, and her secret gets out that she is an Omega, and then everybody wants her, and it's like all these people just keep coming, these shifters, and it ends up being in like some giant orgy situation. Anyhow, it's an MMFM, so there's a lot going on here. It actually felt a little more there. It felt like there's a lot more spice in this one than typically is in LV Lanes, but that could have just been me. I still enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. It was like she describes it as Bambi for grown-ups with spice.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There were some people who commented on one of, I think it was a reel, who were really excited to know what you thought about it. So
Yeah,
there
I
they
gave
go.
it 4 stars. I enjoyed it.
I don't get it.
It was different. It was definitely different. Definitely different. I'm just gonna put that. Just yeah. Anyhow.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Okay. Next, I read Taste by Mental. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me?
I don't know.
Am I also on pain meds? Am I having a side effect from you being on pain meds?
Maybe a little bit.
I read Taste by Melanie Harlow.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So this is about Ellie and Gianni.
Yep. Gianni.
It looks weird spelled. I always struggle with that. But anyway, so they were childhood friends. Gianni has gone off to be like this celebrity reality star type chef. He's quite well known, and he has come back and he's working for just 6 months at the restaurant. Ellie is supposed to go do, I think it's like a wine tasting meeting thing, and it's supposed to snow. So she's like, oh, but I'm still going to go. And he's like, you can't go. I will drive you. Your car's not going to make it. Let me drive you. So he drives her, and they end up getting stranded there. And of course, there's only one bed in the hotel. So they make the best of the times, right? Like, what else would you do? And maybe they could have come home earlier. I don't know. And now Ellie's pregnant.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I rated it 4 stars. It's part of the Cloverleaf Farms series, and sometimes I really like those, and sometimes they're just like, okay. So this was, I liked it, but it wasn't like, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It wasn't Ignite. I'll just say
I know
that.
Ignite is just so good.
I know.
I have mine right there. Like I can see it right there.
Way to brag. I have no idea where my books are. It took me forever to find a book that I needed for this video. And I'm like, I knew exactly where it was.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't find it. So I'm trying to find the books that I know were kind of in that. Like, where did I set them? Oh, it was awful. Like,
dang it.
I have to get organized.
I just want to reorganize mine, but I can't do it right this minute. Now that I know that you're organizing yours, I want to reorganize mine.
I think that you should just tell Jeff what to do. Move those books there, those books there.
I don't want him touching my
don't
books.
bend that.
Exactly. Nah, it's okay. I can't give up the control. Okay, so the next book that I read, I actually listened to, and it is a reread, but BJ Alpha just put out audio for Cal, which is what started my BJ Alpha obsession. And so I had to listen to the audio. It just came out this week. It's done by James Cassidy and Desiree Ketchum. It is absolutely amazing. They did such a great job. It is duet narration. Loved it. So this actually, I mean, I think I gave this book 4 stars when I first read it, but with the narration, it bumps it up. Like, it was just that good. So this is the very first book in her Secrets and Lies series. This starts off the whole Secrets and Lies, obviously the series, but it starts off, this is it. This was her first book. So this is about Lily and Cal. And they had met years ago, 14 years ago in Vegas. And they had, they'd seen each other for a while. Like, she worked a bar and he came in, and they kind of had a thing. Well, they ended up sleeping together one night and then he disappears. And now here we are 14 years later. She gets in trouble with some mafia situations. They're on the run. She has a 14-year-old son who has, I think he's autistic, I think is what Reese is. Everybody loves Reese. And then he's actually a genius, and he ends up bringing his dad and his brothers to them. It's like a whole thing. It's mafia. It's Irish mafia. I'm on painkillers, so hopefully you guys can understand what I'm talking about here. But it's really good. The narration was awesome. So if you haven't read it yet, or if you just want to grab that narration, it is just so good. Go listen to it. They did a fantastic job. So yeah. Okay.
I just moved Con today.
Did you? Con is the next book. I'm waiting for Finn, because Finn and Bryn are my favorites. And so I'm like, BJ, when are you going to get me that? I mean, just, Finn.
So I have Shaw, Tate, and Owen.
Yeah.
And they're sitting together. And Jay was helping me like get my bookshelves put together and move some stuff. And he saw those and he's like, oh, I bet those are going to spell something. And I'm like, they are. They're going to spell storm.
Exactly.
And he's
So,
like, oh.
yes. And she's teasing a Reese book that's coming out now because everybody wants Reese. So she's teasing it. It's coming.
I want Mason's book, which he's, of course, the last in the storm.
I know.
Like, let's get focused, BJ.
I think we'll get it this year, probably towards the end of the year, but we'll get it. She'll do it. She's got it. She's got it.
We still have to get the R. Who's R? I forgot.
Reese. Or no, not Reese.
No.
That one, it's
I can't think of it.
Can't either. Mm-mm.
All right.
Oh well.
We'll move on.
Yes.
I just started Tate too. Why can't I? That's gonna bug me.
I know. Okay.
Are you ready for my next one?
Oh yeah, let's go.
So when we were in Phoenix, not Vegas, Jessica, when we were in Phoenix, I got you could go and get a ticket for the first, like, I think it was 50 people, and they got a free book from Sapphire Night. I had never read her before, so I was very excited to get this. So this is 10 minutes, and I actually really enjoyed it. So I will, she's going on my list of authors to read again. So this is part of the Oath Keepers MC. On the cover, you can see Spen there. Spen has struggled a little bit because he likes to be a little different, but that has caused him to maybe be treated a little differently. So he kind of has this little bit of not identity crisis, but kind of thing going on. And he is leaving the compound on his motorcycle, and he sees something in the road. Well, that something turns out to be a pregnant Naomi who has passed out in the middle of the road. So he calls for help and goes with her to the hospital and stays with her, and he decides that he thinks he wants to keep her and the baby. So this is like novella. It was a pretty quick read. I really enjoyed it. I liked the MC world. It feels like it is not Toys for Tots, but I don't think it's like really massively gritty, but I really enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to reading more from that series.
Okay, so the next book I have is one that I picked up in Vegas, and we've seen this author like at every.
Are you sure it was Vegas?
It was Vegas because she showed it off for the first time in Vegas, and then I stood in line to get it, and then I got there and realized that the hardcover was $90. Had a little bit of a panic attack and bought the paperback instead. Even though the hardcover was so friggin' awesome.
That was really cool.
Yes. So this is Blood Bride by C.D. Reese. I listened to the audio. So when I went to LA for RomanticyCon, she was there, and that's not really her crowd. And so, because this is paranormal and vampires and stuff, so she was at that fantasy con or romantasy con, sorry. But she was giving away free codes for the audiobook. So I listened to the audiobook. The audio was Jason Clark and Samantha Brentmore. So you know that audio was on fire. It was so good. But this is a vampire mafia. And I know that sounds crazy, but just stick with me here. So this is about Carmine and Luna. So Luna is living in the States, and she gets a letter saying that she has this inheritance and this family in Italy. And so she boards a private jet, because they sent a private jet for her, to go and see this family. Well, little does she know, Carmine, who is like a 500-year-old vampire, has just awoken from his 50-year nap where everybody thought he was dead because he was staked through the heart. But nope, the stake is still there and he is alive. But he needs the blood of a specific type of witch to keep him alive. Luna does not know, even though she can sense emotions and she can manipulate people's emotions, she doesn't realize that she comes from this line of witches. And it is in this family. So Carmine is there to get himself a blood bride. Like, he's forcing these people, whoever, to marry him out of this family. And it's like her and her cousin and a couple other girls, when he scents her and he knows that she is what he is looking for. So he forces her into this marriage, and it is not very nice. There's a lot happening here. I friggin' loved it. It ends on a cliffhanger. The second book will be out here in a couple more months, I think June. Dying for it. 5 stars. I loved it. And the audio might have made it a little bit better. Maybe that's why it was 5 stars, but it was so friggin' good. I loved it.
So after loving it, do you feel that you should have sprung for the book, the $90 one? Because that was really cool.
It was really cool. And she did have some when we were in LA, and I thought about it and I thought, where did I put that company card? Like, can I write this off somehow? But no. So
$90 is a lot for a special edition.
You never know. She might end up in our box one day where I have my own special edition. That is the best thing about being an owner at Coveted Cover. I could be like, I really want this book in a special edition. Let me see if I can get this author to sign on. So you never know. But I did love this a lot. So,
well, never mind. I was meaning, you wouldn't have the same special edition.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have the same special
that
edition.
Particular one. That's
and we're going to see CD Reese at several different events this year, and I might cave because it was really cool. And she actually showed us at RomantasyCon, she's done the mock-up for the second book in their story, and it has the same kind of concept, and it's $180.
Maybe she'll have the second book and there'll be a special if you buy 2. It'll be like $175.
Oh my God. I don't know. But if I purchase it, we don't tell my husband ever. Ever.
No. Okay, ready?
Okay, I am ready. What you got next?
Okay, my next one is another novella, but I listened to it because it's St. Patrick's Day themed. It is part of Jay Sterling's Fun for the Holidays. So you guys know, if you've been following along, I've been doing that each month. So this is my week with the prince. And so this is Celeste's story. Celeste's mom recently has died, and she basically left instructions for her and her sister to live their life, take trips, that sort of thing, and fall in love. And so they decide to go to Ireland. And so off they go to Ireland, and Celeste meets Patrick there, and Patrick is an Irish prince. And from there, it's a novella, so it goes very quickly. But the big question is how can you have a relationship with an Irish prince when you live in America?
You moved to Ireland!
So I've been enjoying this series. It's a solid 4 stars.
I mean, that's not a hard one. You moved to Ireland.
Did you just start speaking with an Irish accent for that?
Not intentionally, no, I did not. But something might have slipped.
Feels like it.
It felt a little Irish.
My time's up.
Okay. All right, so the next book I have is one that I picked up when we were in Phoenix. I mean, I'm sure it was Phoenix. I want to say Tucson all the time, but it was Phoenix. And that is,
you either wanted to go to Vegas, and then when I'd be like, we're not going to Vegas, and you're like, that's right, it's Tucson.
I don't know why I was saying Tucson. I still do that too, but it was Phoenix. So you read the first book in this series. It was the one with the Omega's Guide to blah blah blah. Do you remember that one? It was for convincing, and it had the girl who had like the show, the little blog, the Omega's Guide to whatever. Do you remember that at all?
No.
Okay. Anyhow, so this is the second book in the series.
Block it out?
This is it might jog your memory. So this is Not a Chance by Sinclair Kelly. This is the second book.
Oh yes, now I know which one you're talking about.
Now you know. Okay. So this is Not Your Omegaverse. So in that first one, we get a little bit of Arden's story. She is the best friend to the girl from the first book, and we know that she lost her son and her pack in a horrible car accident several years earlier, and her friends are what kept her alive, because typically for an Omega, to lose your pack, to lose your child, that is enough for them to just curl up and die. But they kept her alive, they kept her going, and so now we see her, a handful of years later. She's moved to Arizona. I think it was there in Arizona. Sorry guys, I read this while I was on medication. But she's moved to Arizona with her best friend who has this pack. They're still doing the Omega's Guide stuff, but now she's starting to notice these other alphas. There's an alpha in town. He is the brother to one of the guys from her best friend's pack, and he is a detective in town, and they kind of have this connection, and they always have, but his job gets in the way. Like, he doesn't want to abandon somebody because of an accident or whatever. And then she also has this best friend who's a beta, who's been there for her whole life, and he's always been in the sidelines, and now he's starting to come around. And then there's a stalker detective who gets sent there. His brother is the one who was drinking and driving that caused the crash, and he has so much remorse and regret over that he has been stalking her, but he's also a detective, and so he transfers there. So this is her story of healing. It gets emotional. I gave it 4 stars. What I love about the book, though, is each chapter for the person, like, she has the picture of what they look like. So when you get to one of the guys' chapters, you see
it references back to who we're talking about. That's nice.
What he's supposed to, like, what she had envisioned as the guy from the book, which kind of helps. Helpful. I mean, it is very helpful. As long as you find that person attractive, it's helpful. So anyhow, 4 stars. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I listened to the audio.
All right.
Okay, what do you got next?
Okay, next I have an arc that I read. It's called Falling for the Irish by Bryce Quinn. This comes out on March 21st. And this is Jenna. Jenna goes out. She's supposed to be meeting her best friend to go out for her birthday. Her best friend is pregnant and falls asleep on the couch. So if you've ever been pregnant, you can probably relate to that. And so she decides that she's still going to go out and have fun, even though she's out by herself. And this is where she meets Rowan, and her and Rowan kind of hit it off, and he has to leave, and he's like, come with me. And so she's like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to do this. Hopefully it doesn't turn out to be bad. And off they go. And it turns out he is an MMA fighter. So they're going to what kind of felt like it was described as kind of like an underground fight type situation. So she goes there. She's sitting ringside to watch the whole thing unfold. And that is how their story starts. And he ends up kind of being the more persistent one, but not like overly persistent. Like, he kind of does the falls first thing, and she's more reluctant because she doesn't want to be in a relationship because she's just feels like she's gotten burned in the past. So she decides relationships aren't for her. But it was good. I rated it 4 stars.
Okay, good. You ready for my last one?
Yes.
Before I talk about it, let's talk about it. So as a reader, when I go and look at a book, yes, I judge the cover 100%. I also judge the title. So if you have a title that is The Secret Baby for the Italian Mafia King, I'm going to judge that title. This book was really good, but I only started reading it because I saw some stuff about it on Facebook, and I was like, ooh, that sounds good. And then I looked at the title and I was like, ooh, when you have titles like that, I'm just for authors, that is, I don't know what it is about that, but it feels like it's a subpar book because of the title. Like, she could have called it, I don't know, so-and-so's torture, and it would have been better than this. So I think authors really need to consider that when they're titling their books. Because these ones just, they're weird. but the book was good. So
Or
let's talk
call
about
it like Italian Mafia King.
or Relentless King or Dark King, like anything other than Secret Baby for the Italian Mafia King.
Because you could call it like something and then be like a secret baby romance.
Exactly. So I think authors, I mean, I know a lot, I think some of the newer authors do stuff like this, and it's the book was so good, but the title is what's going to turn people off. So you got to think about
real cheesy.
Because it does seem cheesy. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. My brain just can't compute that today. Okay, so let's talk about this book. So it is by Leah Zani. And like I said, I saw it on, there was like a clip for it on Facebook, and I was like, oh, and normally that leads me down a rabbit hole that is just where the books are just horrible. This wasn't. This was actually really good. So this is about Nadia and Ren. So Nadia and Ren are from two different mafia worlds, but they were together when she was 17 and he was 19. She gave him her virginity on the same night that he killed his first person, and he was inducted into the mafia. And then something happened where she overheard him say that she was not marriage material, even though he had told her that he was going to keep her. And so she runs. When this happens, her dad ends up killing his parents in a fire, his whole family. Then he retaliates and kills all of hers. So she is now on the run because she thinks he's after her at this point, when she finds out that she's pregnant. And so now when the book starts, it is 6 years later. She has a 6-year-old daughter, which that math doesn't math, but whatever. The daughter has had she had 2 open heart surgeries because she has some issues, but they're in their apartment one night and the apartment gets broken in by a different mafia boss that she borrowed money from. And she's trying to get away from them. And she's been on the run from several different mafias at this point and hiding out when she decides that she has to call Ren. He is the only one that can save her. And so she calls him, he rescues her. She still doesn't tell him that it's his daughter, which I had a little bit of an issue with. I can see why she didn't, but then he forces her into a marriage. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really liked it. It could even be a 5-star. I'm still kind of muddling around with that right now, but I really, really, really liked it. The title would have thrown me off, though, had I not seen the thing about her running and having to call a guy and a woman answering the phone, because I was like, oop, there's some angst right there. And it turned out really good. Like, I downloaded the sample first because I was very hesitant. And when the sample ended, I was like, I need more. So it was really, really good. So I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yep. If I were the author, she's probably the sweetest girl out there. And I feel really bad saying this, but if I were her, I would change the title.
Well, tell us in the comments, how do you feel about those types of titles? Does it impact you? Is Jessica alone on this? I understand where you're coming from. So let us know in the comments. Tell us, talk to us about titles.
Yep.
It's kind of like covers. People do judge books by the cover.
They do. We do. We all do. Let's be honest. We do. Yeah. So, okay. That was my last one. Your turn.
Okay. So my next book is called Wild Ride by Sadie King. And I got to start the timer and hold stuff at the same time. This is very tricky on my part here. So I got this in the PR box from Insta Love Influencer. So I was really excited to read this. This is another novella. It is part of the Wild Heart Wild Riders MC. So this is the first book in that. So this is about Danny. Danny's mom is like really judgy, and like anytime something happens that she's kind of like, well, I told you shouldn't have done that. Don't do this. Don't do that. And she just recently lost her apartment. And so she is feeling kind of bummed out. She decides to go stay somewhere for the weekend. And on her way there, her car breaks down. And Coulter is the only person who comes by on a motorcycle. He stops to help her, realizes that her car, he can't fix her car, and it needs like some parts and things. So he takes her to where her rental is, but it turns out it is not much of a rental. So he takes her home, because why not? But he's very clear that this is only for the weekend.
Okay.
What is it?
What is it? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What did you rate it?
4 stars.
Okay.
It's hard for novella to be a 5-star for me because it always kind of feels a little like something's missing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hard for novella to be a 4-star too sometimes.
Yeah.
But definitely it was a 4-star read.
Okay.
All right. So next I read Fake Empire by C.W. Farnsworth.
Ooh, okay.
This is Scarlett and Crew's story. This is arranged marriage based on like these two, their families are just filthy, filthy rich. And so this is going to be an alliance to just really bring these families like to be like the most powerful. And so it is definitely arranged marriage. Scarlett is okay with this, but she kind of wants to do her own thing still. She wants Crew to like her, but she doesn't want Crew to like her. And Crew tries to like her, but Scarlett is kind of like an ice queen. I forgot to set the timer. I'm so sorry. And Crew has just kind of been this playboy, but he's not really like, he's kind of a nice guy playboy, if that makes sense. And he is willing to give this marriage a try, even though Scarlett makes that very difficult for him. So I rated it 3.5 stars because Scarlett, I don't mind an ice queen, but I never felt like she really ever changed. I felt like Crew was constantly trying to force her to like him. And every time she would, sorry, she would, like in her head, in her inner dialogue, she had feelings for him, but she always questioned it. I don't know. She just got a little annoying for me.
Okay. It happens
I'm
sometimes.
sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
Okay.
Then next I read another novella.
Mm-hmm.
This is called One Wild Ride by Eve London. And this is part of the Hot and Bothered book club. So this is my book that I needed to read this week to continue my quest for that sticker. I am loving these books, though. They're great. So this is about Quinn. Quinn does a photo shoot for this MC club for something that they're doing. And so she's the photographer, and Fuse hits on her like unmercifully, and she's not really sure what to think of it, but Fuse is relentless in a nice way of his feelings towards her. And it's a novella, so that's where I'm gonna leave off on that.
Okay.
I enjoyed it a lot. I rated it 4 stars, and I will read more from that MC. So if you're looking for some MC Recs, these are great if you're into novellas. And I'm not sure if they have like full length books as well, or if the whole series is novellas. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then next, we don't have to switch. I read a book for our convincing, which will be out on Thursday. So make sure you see how Jessica has tortured me this time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then that's going to take me to an audio ALC book that what am I even saying? That's going to take me to my ALC, which is My Silver Lining by Laura Pavlov.
Okay.
So this is narrated by Sean Masters and Vanessa Edwin. This is Lulu and Rafe's story. Lulu is staying at her best friend's house while she's in transition. She's got a couple months until she's moving to Paris. Rafe is staying in the guest house while some work is being done. And he doesn't think Lulu's there yet. So he goes into the main house, finds Lulu. Lulu freaks out and like basically throat punches him. And that is their meet cute. And she continues to be a little feisty with him, and I loved it. So this has like this enemies to lovers thing going on. And then Lulu is from we heard about her in the first book a little bit. She is in a famous family, like there's a senator and all that stuff, but she also dated this musician, and she's just really trying to distance herself from him because he's just bad news. And her family, she has this cousin that's like really kind of like that mean girl cousin, and she's like, oh sure, Lulu can't find a boyfriend type thing. And so Lulu makes up that she has a boyfriend, thinking that it'll just get them off her back, but it doesn't, because her cousin's mean. You're gonna take a nap?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so Rafe, we saw in the other book as well, made up that he has a girlfriend or is dating someone because his boss keeps trying to get him to date his daughter, and he does not want to do that. So they decide to mutually be each other's fake person to solve these things, which I love that there was a good, solid adult reason for this fake relationship, because I think we can all relate to at some point not like wanting to go to something single.
Exactly.
And, it's sometimes easier just to be like, oh, sure, I have a boyfriend, or sure, I have a date type thing. I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun. this has like the whole fan family in it too, which I love. And then there's the group texting, which I just love that. And there is a group text about sharding, and it was hilarious. I laughed so hard while I was listening to it. I probably looked like I was crazy. So hands down, I rated this 5 stars. I am loving this series, but this I loved even more than the first book.
Okay.
Okay. Then we have another ALC, which is Run Little Bunny. And this is by, where's her name? Serena. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? Serena Peer. And it is narrated by Corvin King and Nikki Gray. And it comes out on March 20th. And this is part of the High Five novella series. So we have, it's Easter themed. We have Anna, who goes with her sister and her I think it's her nephew, to an Easter egg hunt. And there's somebody dressed up as a bunny who's actually Chad. Chad lost his fantasy league and now has to wear this bunny costume. Everyone thinks it's hilarious. Chad is a little unimpressed, but he's a good sport, so he's going along with it. And he has always kind of had this crush on Anna. He goes and eats a lot of pasta where she works so he can see her. And Anna's kind of been interested in him, but they have a significant age gap. He's in his 30s and she's early. Like, I think she's literally only 20 or 21. And so I actually can understand that being a real age gap. Kind of lived it, as did you. And there are things to kind of be weary about when you're looking at an age gap like that. And so this has your favorite stuff in it, Jessica. There is a breeding kink. There's some primal play. Like, it is fantastic. He actually goes to this bar and Anna comes there and he still is wearing the bunny head. And so there's like secret identity because she doesn't know who he is. She's hoping she knows who he is, but she doesn't. Like I said, it's usually difficult for a novella to be a 5, but I absolutely love this. I want like more of this couple. Totally enjoyed it. So
Okay.
5 stars. Loved it.
Okay.
Okay. So some great stuff is coming out this week, people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you can stay on because I don't want to say too much about this, but I read Finding Home by Lauren Rowe. This is part of our buddy read. This is on, isn't it March 23rd? Yes.
That's Sunday, so I think, yeah.
Yeah. So March 23rd on our channel with Amber and Jen. I would love for you guys to read this. There will definitely be spoilers when we talk about it, like things that you probably don't want to know if you haven't read it. So I highly encourage you to read it. I started it and then I was working on this bookshelf madness. So I switched to the audio, which is done by Andy Arndt and Sean Masters. It was phenomenal. So loved it. Side note, this Caleb is who stars in this. He's the, what is the name of the band? Red Card Riot drummer. And we actually saw him, if you've read the Morgan Brothers, in Rockstar. He's the ex-boyfriend of Violet, who Dax has like some, not issues with, but strained relations with. So make sure you join us for Caleb's story. And we will be talking about that on our channel on Sunday. Okay. Whew.
That it? Are we done?
I'm done.
Oh, okay, good.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's it for this week.
Make sure to check back on Mondays.
What?
I
said this very real and raw week here. So
oh yes. Make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us. And always check, hit that notification button. This Wednesday, I don't think we have anything extra coming out, but we have some great author lineups happening. So you're gonna definitely want to make sure you're checking back.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.